here, still on common ground, but we are here at the edge. We are here at the traditional African-American cemetery of Stanley. There are a couple of these walking entrances on this side of the campus that enable access from the historic African-American Springfield community of Stanley. And like many communities in the South, they are segregated, and they historically have been, and in large part continue to be segregated by race. And so it's not by accident that when the church went looking for a new campus, and God proposed that they settle here on common ground, which is literally in the center of that divide between the black neighborhood of town and the white neighborhood of town. And in the center, God named the space Common Ground. And so it's beautiful to see, in a world that is ever more segregated and divided, it is beautiful to see on this campus persons of all races, comfortable and at home here, and meeting their neighbor who is different than them. Like, that's what Common Ground is. And Common Ground still needs to develop in that way. Our worship community is very light-skinned, and but we have a very intentional sister relationship with Mount Pleasant United Methodist Church, which is the historically African-American United Methodist congregation in this town. So it's not just the town that's segregated, also the United Methodist Church is segregated. But it's not by accident that their campus adjoins our the Common Ground, and that there is a walking entrance that opens up to their congregation as well. So, and many of the things that we do on Common Ground to serve the community, we do them together with Mount Pleasant. So we're very intentional about building a bridge, living into the reality of common ground within the family of God that builds a bridge over racial divide. And we have a long way to go, but Common Ground is a great place to lean into that work of finding the beauty in the other and discovering that our differences are actually gifts and assets for us all. Without Mount Pleasant, there wouldn't be a Common Ground, quite honestly. There is a law in the United Methodist Discipline, the Book of Discipline, that states that one congregation cannot buy a campus within, I think it's 1 mile radius of an existing United Methodist congregation without their explicit approval. And so when God led First Methodist Church here to these 93 acres, before we could purchase it, Mount Pleasant had veto power. And they could have easily been intimidated. First Methodist Church was, a much larger congregation in those days. And so Mount Pleasant could have easily been intimidated by that, been jealous for this space and for their particular mission field. And they could have easily used the law of the Methodist Church and vetoed it. And so when it was brought up for a vote at Mount Pleasant, they agreed overwhelmingly that First Methodist could purchase this property. that adjoins their property, separated only by a road. And then as this space has become common ground, they have been integral in the shaping and the serving that has gone on this campus. And my hope is that that will continue to grow, not only with Mount Pleasant, but with our Hispanic neighbors and all of our neighbors. It takes all of us for Common Ground to happen. Common Ground can't happen without us. And so Common Ground stands as this invitation, this very physical invitation to the whole community to come together as the one family of God. But don't take my word for it. Come and see.